Hello, I wanted to give you an update. Today was my surgery. So I'm going to run through from the moment I got up or whatever until right now. So I was allowed to actually, well, I couldn't have anything to eat past midnight. However, they allowed me to have water up until what was it, 2 hours before I was scheduled to arrive at the facility, ambulatory care, hospital, whatever you want to call it. So I had to be there at 8:30 this morning, and so my last bit of water was at 6:30. So I get to the place, the surgery center, and they took me back into a room, and I wasn't really too nervous at that point, a little anxious, but I was actually pretty excited. And they took me back into a room. Several different doctors come in, nurses, anesthesiologists. They take your blood pressure. They kind of ask you how you're feeling. When was the last time you ate or drank? Just, the full rundown. And then the nurse gave me a IV. And here, of course, I took the IVs out. There's just a little like Band-Aid thing. Don't get scared if they can't find a vein real quick. The nurse I had was great. She, kind of tapped on my hand to try to get the vein to waken up. Even though I didn't feel like I was really, really nervous, I must have been, and it's normal for your veins to kind of retract sometimes if you're nervous. But she just put the IV in, and it was great. One time, and I didn't feel a thing. They hooked up like a saline, I think it was water and like saline bag or whatever to keep you hydrated. And then the anesthesiologist came in, asked me a variety of questions, and the one thing I said to him was I was kind of nervous because I had never been under anesthesia before. I didn't want to take any risk of getting nauseous or vomiting or anything like that. So they gave me like an anti-nausea pill with a little teeny tiny sip of water, which was awesome. While I was still sitting in there, up to this point, there was no drugs administered, whatsoever. My couple of other nurses, I think, came in, and then my doctor came in, and at that point, he did some markings on me. You can still see a couple little marks right here in this area, but he did marks everywhere, primarily to just show where the incisions were going to go, to show where the nipple would be placed, how far up the nipple was going to go, and different incision marks. So I was originally supposed to go in around 10 o'clock. He was running a little bit behind. So by the time he marked me and everything, it was probably close to 10:30. And then I went into the regular operating room. Actually walked in because I hadn't gotten any drugs at that point. Walked into the operating room. I laid down. That's when it started to become real to me. I was like, oh shit, this is real. So laid down, put my arms kind of on the pillows, and the next thing I know, they just kind of put a little mask over my face. I don't even remember them asking me to count or anything, because once they put that mask, that was it. I was totally out. Excuse me, I'm going to have to drink a little bit of water here. You do get very dry. The other thing that I had mentioned to the anesthesiologist was I wanted them to really be cautious because I'm a singer, I'm a professional singer for a living, and I just wanted to make sure that they didn't, hurt my vocal cords. And from what I understand, they put some type of when they intubated me, it was some type of a different type of intubation where they didn't have to go all the way down into the throat. I think they only maybe stopped right in this area, so that was good. Nonetheless, still a little scratchy, whatever. But the next thing I know, I was waking up in recovery, and that was probably around, what time was it, Christine? My sister's here with me. What time was that?
That I came in?
Was about 1:30, 2 o'clock?
Oh, the doctor, yeah, 1:30, 1:45.
Yeah. Yeah, about 1:30, quarter to 2, I was finished with surgery, so it lasts about 3 hours, basically. Oh, and the other thing too, as you can see, I have really nice nails, but they want you to keep both of your index, at least here they do. They want you to take off all polish on both of your index fingers because that's how they monitor certain things, I guess. Blood pressure maybe, or vital signs or whatever. So, once I was out of, I guess, the recovery, they wheeled me back into like a waiting area. They gave me something to eat. I had no nausea. I know people are nervous about that. No nausea, thank God. No vomiting. They gave me a buttered roll, crackers, ginger ale, or water or whatever. And so I was in there for maybe about another, I guess, hour or whatever. And then I was released to come home. And came home. They do want you to walk. They don't want you to walk a lot, but they kind of want you to walk a little bit. So every hour I've been getting up to go to the bathroom or whatever. I ate dinner. I so far have only taken 2 extra strength Tylenol. I do have Percocet. I may take half a Percocet before I go to bed, just in case. But I'm sitting on a reclining chair. But so far, the extra strength Tylenol seems to be working, pretty good. Stay up on top of that. Don't let the pain get to you first. Always stay on top of the pain. I think you'll be all right. The other thing that I do want to mention that I really didn't know they were going to do, but probably maybe because I was in there for a few hours, is they did put a catheter in me. Because when I had my underwear on when I went in to the room, but when I came out of the room, my underwear was in a bag, and I kind of feel just a little slight burn. So I definitely think they put a catheter, and I'll confirm that tomorrow. I go tomorrow to see my plastic surgeon because he's going to take my drains out. They keep the drains in for just one day, and then he's going to rebandage and everything. Trying to think if there's anything else. Did I miss anything, Christine?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think feeling good. You got to be sure you walk, move your ankles around. I do feel a little bit swollen, just a little bit in my fingers, but that is all due to the anesthesia, and that's perfectly normal. I am supposed to be taking my temperature though, which I haven't been doing, so I'm going to definitely do that just to make sure my temperature is supposed to be anything over 100.4 is when you have to be cautious. I also am on an antibiotic, cephalexin, which I will be taking 1 tonight. I'm supposed to be taking them once every 8 hours for the next 5 days. I'm going to reconfirm that with the doctor as well. Okay, so I will let you know how it goes tonight as I'm sleeping, and hopefully there won't be any pain or very minimal. And when I say pain, it's not really pain. It's more soreness. So far so good. Praise God. So I'll keep you posted. Thank you.